I think we humans face many levels of crisis, like politically, economically, ideologically, ecologically, and so on and on. But most of all, grave crisis of human identity, as we ask, what does it mean to be human in the era of advanced artificial intelligence, namely AI? In the age of AI, the human mind, soul, and spirit concepts we have embraced over millennia are in danger of being interpreted as merely electrochemical processes of the brain. I believe art is the essential part of humanity, and human creativity is rooted in the human spirituality. My name is Hideki Sobue. I'm a visual artist currently living and working in the Lake District, UK. I grew up in the orphanage in Japan since my birth until the age of 18. Perhaps my passion for art can be traced back to my childhood. As I recall, I always enjoyed drawing on the ground before I was given pencils and papers. The children's home was surrounded by woods, brooks, paddy field, and mountains. We had a little, but always enjoyed playing together in the wood and climbing a mountain behind the orphanage. I often climbed up on the roof on sunny days, amusing myself watching clouds sailing across the sky. Spending a bohemian life in Tokyo and London after leaving the children's home for several years, I went back to my roots, the love for nature. The crazy city life blinded me, but when I came to my senses, I realized how intricate and delicate the balance is for the beauty of nature, and how we humans endanger it. It also led me to delve into the mystery of humanity and human creativity. My quest for art has come to explore the uniqueness of humanity with nature ever since. In 2019, I organized my touring art project, Conversation with Ruskin, which was supported by Arts Council England, to celebrate the bicentenary of John Ruskin's birth. An artist, art critic, writer, social thinker, the Oxford Slade Professor of Fine Art, Ruskin led the Gothic revival, provided the ideological foundation for the Pre-Raphaelites and the arts and crafts movement. He was one of the most influential figures in Victorian England. Through the project, I explored the spirituality of John Ruskin by focusing on his message about art, human creativity, spirituality, a love for nature, and conservation. I produced a double vision portrait of John Ruskin as the central work for the project, entitled Conversation with Ruskin, Ecce Homo. Through the double vision style, I try to promote a visual illusion so that the portrait can be seen as a single image in another dimension, as if the ghostly figure appears, floating from the surface of the support. I admit, it's a paradoxical approach because it takes effect by visual illusion. But, on the contrary, I intended to emphasize the mystery of human existence. By this, I wanted to question about the distance between the visible and invisible, physical and spiritual. these abstract concepts only belong to humanity. In this way, I wanted to examine whether our mind, soul, and spirit exist, or are in fact nothing but multi-complex electrochemical processes in our brain. I believe this question becomes increasingly important in the era of advanced artificial intelligence. Although the COVID-19 crisis has overshadowed it, 2020 is another important year. It is the 250th anniversary of William Wordsworth's birth and the centenary of Hardwick Drummond RAWNSLEY's death. Wordsworth is the well-known Romantic poet laureate, and RAWNSLEY, an Anglican priest and one of the three founders of the National Trust. Actually, RAWNSLEY is well known for inspiring young Beatrix Potter about the importance of conservation when she and her family stayed at the Ray Castle in Windermere for their holiday. On her death, Potter bequeathed nearly all her property to the National Trust, including over 4,000 acres of land, 16 farms, cottages, and herds of cattle, and, of course, Hardwick sheep. Wordsworth was, on the other hand, one of the earliest environmentalists for preserving the natural beauty of the English Lake District. RAWNSLEY was born a year after the death of Wordsworth, as if he'd actually inherited the passion of the poet. These men championed the conservation of natural beauty in the Lake District and beyond. Their voices echo all the more in our contemporary society. To celebrate this commemorative year, I have launched my new art project, Wordsworth, RAWNSLEY and Lake District. Again, thanks to Arts Council England for the emergency response fund for this project. I portrayed Hardwick RAWNSLEY when he first met the young Beatrix Potter at Ray in 1882, passionately talking to her about the importance of conservation. William Wordsworth, on the other hand, I tried to depict him in his late 20s, when he and his sister, Dorothy, settled at Dove Cottage. This was also around when Wordsworth started to write his autobiographical poem, The Prelude. Talking about the portrait of William Wordsworth in his late 20s, I could find very few archive images of his likeness at this period. So, I developed his portrait based on his life mask, which was produced in 1815, when he was aged 45. It's the most authentic representation of his attributes, you know. I've had the chance to produce his portrait a few times for private and public occasions, but this was the biggest challenge, I have to say. With the assistance of the Arts Council England Emergency Response Fund, I completed these portraits, apart from the drawings, with my unique brush hatching technique using Japanese sumi ink and acrylic. This unique line hatching method is inspired by the concept of disegno, which was established in the Florentine school during the Renaissance, combined with neurological studies. One of the studies revealed that the human visual brain perceives objects predominantly by oriented lines. That is why I complete my painting with lines, even though it requires a painstaking process. For this project, I completed all works with a gold background using acrylic gold, inspired by the Japanese traditional painting style, such as fusumae, sliding door painting, and byobue, folding screen painting, for exploring my cultural roots. In this way, I try to pay homage to these important historical figures of the Lake District in a way that is appropriate to their memory, despite or even because of these challenging times.